Alright, now for tutorial question 9, okay, this is another question on system of linear equations. Okay, so you can see from this set of tutorial that system of linear equations, alright, it will not appear very clearly as a question involving system of linear equations. Okay, you need to use your interpretation to determine that in fact this is a question involving 3 different variables, or rather a few different variables you need to solve using a system of linear equations. Okay, so example will be tutorial question 9. Okay, in this case, now you're given a cubic curve defined by the equation y equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Okay, and you're given a few pieces of information. Okay, and of course a, b, c, and d are real constants. Now the first of which is that the curve cuts the y-axis at y equals to -8. Okay, so in other words, your y-intercept is -8. Okay, or equivalently, when x equals to 0, y equals to -8. So using this condition, immediately in fact you can solve for one of the variables, okay, d. So in this case, d equals to -8. Alright, now second piece of information, it cuts the x-axis at x equals to 4. In other words, x-intercept is 4. Again, equivalently, we can say that when y equals to 0, x equals to 4. So this will give us our first equation. Okay, so we will now rewrite this equation as ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx minus 8, since we already know that d is -8. Okay, so we have a times 4 cubed plus b times 4 squared plus c times 4 minus 8 is equals to 0. Okay, this would be 64a plus 16b plus 4c equals to 8. I can simplify this further by dividing all two sides of the equation by 4 to give me 16a plus 4b plus c equals to 2. Okay, so let me label this as equation 1. Okay, now second piece of information is that the line y equals -8 minus 2x. Okay, so y equals to -8 minus 2x intersects, okay, the curve at x equals to 3. Okay, so from here, okay, if we put in x equals to 3 into this equation, y equals -8 minus 2x, okay, as follows. This will be equal to the value of y, okay, for the curve, the cubic curve. So I can rewrite this equation as a times 3 cubed plus b times 3 squared plus c times 3 minus 8. Alright, this should simplify my equation to 27a plus 9b plus 3c equals to -6. Okay, and I can divide all two sides of the equation by 3. To form my second equation. Alright. Okay, so now we have 3 variables, so we need 3 equations. So we can obtain the third one from the second part of the same condition I have used for the intersection part. Okay, in other words, y equals -8 minus 2x intersects the curve at x equals to 3. There's actually an additional piece of information which states that this is parallel. Okay, the line of y equals -8 minus 2x is parallel to the tangent of the curve at x equals to 2. Okay. So from this condition, since we are looking at tangents, let us first find the derivative of the cubic curve. Okay, so dy dx is actually equals to 3ax squared plus 2bx plus c. Okay, so there's no negative 8 because differentiation derivative of a constant is 0. Okay, so now take note that the gradient of this line is negative 2. Okay, so this piece of information actually tells us that when you substitute the value of 2, x equals 2 into dy by dx, okay, as follows. Okay, you should get the value to be negative 2. Okay, in order for this tangent to be parallel to the line y equals negative 8 minus 2x. Okay, so simplifying, we should get 12a plus 4b plus c equals to negative 2 to form our third equation. Okay, so now again we use the GC, okay, to solve for our system of linear equations. Okay, so again go back to the application on polynomial too. Okay, right now I've already used the application from the previous question. Okay, so from here I just select main to go back to the original menu. Okay, and re-enter my number of equations, number of unknowns, and each of the entries in the array of numbers here. Okay, so what I have now is 16. Okay, from my first equation, 16, 4, 1, and 2. Okay, followed by 9, 3, 1, negative 2, and the last one will be 12, 4, 1, and negative 2 again. Okay, so we'll solve. Okay, and this will be the values that you should get. Okay, let us double check the what I've put in here. I think there's some error. Okay, so the first, do double check that your entries are correct. Okay, so the constant on the first equation should be 2. Okay, whereas the constant for the last equation should be negative 2. Okay, make sure you press enter as I've mentioned, or else it may not capture your entry. Okay, then you press solve. Okay, yes, now it should be correct already. Okay, so we get a to be 1, b to be negative 3, and c to be negative 2. Okay, so we can state our final answer accordingly. Okay, so we have, and remember that d is negative 8. So the cubic curve will be y equals to x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 8. Okay, and this is your final solution.